Life Audio.
Hey friend, Heather Creekmore here. I'm glad you're back for another episode of the Compared to You podcast. We're the show for you if you've ever struggled with the way your body looks. And hey, this summer, we're doing a question series. And on my standalone episodes, I'm going to take on Chat GPT. I am asking Chat GPT the questions that you're asking me to see which of us can answer them better. And today's question is a good one. It's, what do I do if being around a certain person who's skinnier than me makes me feel jealous? Oh, hey, we've all been there, right? You're around that person that always looks perfect, is always so put together, or has just the best body, and you have that twinge of envy. That's where we're going today. We're going to see how Chat GPT answers it, and then I'll give you my best answer. I'm glad you're here for it. Hey, if you're new to the show, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Would you go to improvebodyimage.com so we can connect with you? I've got a free gift there for you. You can download the free 15-day Mirror Fast devotional. And I would just love to connect with you there. So go to improvebodyimage.com and you'll get on our list and we can touch base and tell you about all the great stuff we have at Compared to Who. Now let's get to today's episode. Okay, so I typed into Chat GPT. These are the exact words I used. How can I be around someone who is skinnier than me that I'm jealous of? And Chat GPT, it's always just so caring. I do feel a little threat to my job security because ChatGPT is just like trying to connect with me personally. Like it is the friend you always wished you had. And it says, that's a really honest and vulnerable question. Thank you for asking it. Feeling jealous about someone else's body, especially in a world that puts so much pressure on appearance, is super common. You're definitely not alone in this. It's funny. That's what it said last time too. I think it really wants me to know I'm not alone. So here are a few thoughts that may help you navigate being around someone skinnier than you when those feelings of jealousy come up. Okay, you ready for it? Here we go. Chat GPT always gives you a numbered list, right? They know what we like. Number 1, acknowledge your feelings without judgment. Chat GPT is the ultimate counselor. Okay, acknowledge your feelings without judgment. It's okay to feel jealous. That doesn't make you shallow or bad. It makes you human. Try to notice the feeling without judging yourself for it. You might even say in your head, I'm feeling jealous right now, and take a deep breath. Naming it helps loosen its grip. Number 2, zoom out. What are you really feeling? Sometimes jealousy isn't just about how someone looks. It can stem from feeling inadequate, unlovable, or like you're not enough. What story are you telling yourself when you see them? That they're more worthy, more attractive? Try to catch that inner narrative and gently challenge it. Okay, Chat GPT answer number 3, shift the focus inward. Instead of comparing bodies, try to reconnect with yours. What does your body do for you? What do you love or appreciate about it, even in small ways? Gratitude for your own body over time can help ease comparison. Number 4, limit idealization. It might seem like that person has it all, but you never really know what someone's dealing with internally. They might struggle with food, insecurity, or comparison themselves. Nobody is perfect, and thinness doesn't guarantee happiness. Number 5, set boundaries, mental or physical. If being around that person constantly makes you feel worse, it's okay to set boundaries. That doesn't mean cutting them off, but it could mean limiting time together, unfollowing them on social media, or redirecting conversations that trigger you. And finally, number 6, ChatGPT says, talk to someone safe. Like ChatGPT, I suppose. Whether it's a friend, therapist, or support group, talking about this stuff out loud can be healing. You deserve support, not shame. Would you want to talk more about where this is coming from or how often you're feeling this way? It's totally up to you. I'm here for it. Oh my word, does that creep anyone else out? Is it just me? Oh, that's what ChatGPT had to say. And we'll be right back in just a minute, and I'll tell you what I have to say. So let me cruise through Chat GPT's answers again and give you my perspective. Okay, so I think that the first suggestion to acknowledge your feelings without judgment is okay. So it's okay to feel jealous, doesn't make you shallow or bad, it makes you human. Like, yes, jealousy, or I think envy is actually a better word, but people use those words interchangeably. Like jealous, God can be jealous, right? So there can be a righteous way to be jealous. Jealousy is more about wanting something that is rightfully yours. And so when scripture says that God is a jealous God, he is jealous for our attention, our affection, our love, our worship, because it is rightfully his. But what God is not is envious. And envy is really the correct word here. I use jealous because that's the word that people use most often when they're putting things into Google. But envy really means you want something you don't have and you kind of hate the other person for having that thing that you wish you had. And so envy is really the right word here. And envy, oh boy, why is this number one? Envy is sin. Right? And so even though it might be human nature, friend, like we can't just write it off as, oh, shucks. We actually have to acknowledge that whenever we're envying someone, we're sinning. Like we're not called to that. We're called to not do that. In fact, we know that love is patient, love is kind, that love does not envy. But do we also know Galatians 5:26 that says, let us not become conceited, provoking one another, or envying one another. Or, oh, this one hurts a lot, okay? But James 3:16 says, for where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice. So scripture is not really a fan of jealousy or envy, right? And like I described before, right? There's a righteous way to be jealous. There's, also an unrighteous way to be jealous. But we have to acknowledge that this is sin, right? But I do like what Chat GPT says about noticing the feeling without judging yourself for it, right? Because there is a difference between like just having a feeling well up. That's not sin, okay? Or just having a thought, that's not sin, right? It's only sin if you indulge it. It's only sin if you sit with it, stay with it, like keep feeling that way and just, I don't know, really feed it, right? But if you don't feed the thought, if you don't feed the feeling, it doesn't have to bloom into sin. And so when that feeling comes, don't judge yourself for it. I think that's actually pretty good advice. Instead, you could just be curious about it. Like, I wonder why I'm feeling so envious of her today. Like, I wonder what it is about her or me or what's going on in our lives that is kind of triggering this feeling. And just ask yourself, what do you think it could be? And it could be anything, right? It could be that your body has changed and hers hasn't. It could be aging, but it could also be like something completely not body related. Like maybe you just see her in a picture with her husband and she just looks like she's really happy and you're having a struggle in your marriage. And when you see her, you associate her with that happy marriage that you wished you could have. Right. And you feel, in this case, maybe that's jealousy, right? Because like you should have a happy marriage. You want to have a happy marriage. It's a good desire to have a happy marriage. And yet you kind of are hating on her because she has what you don't have. And I definitely agree with ChatGPT on the last line of that one, which is naming it helps loosen its grip. I coach people around this all the time. Right? There's so many times when suddenly we go from feeling good to feeling bad about our bodies or our lives. And often if we can just stop and figure out what triggered me, like why did I all of a sudden go from living life just fine to, oh, I hate this. And if you can figure out what it was that triggered you, it's crazy how it does loosen its grip. So for me, a lot of times this might be looking at Instagram, right? Where I scroll and scroll and scroll. And then like I get off and I'm like, man, I just feel bad, right? And part of it is, well, I mean, the data's out there, right? Part of it is just the scrolling Instagram makes you feel bad. But the other part of it is normally something very specific. Like I saw this person in this picture and that made me believe this. And that's why I feel bad now. And if I can name that, even though it doesn't solve anything, it doesn't actually heal anything, it doesn't make my life better and her life worse, right? But just naming it does deflate it. It takes some of the air out of it. It helps it not have as much power. And that does connect to the second suggestion that Chat GPT had about zooming out. What are you really feeling, right? And that's a good suggestion too. Like, what are you feeling about yourself? Right? Where are you right now? Are you feeling like things are out of control? Like, how's your relationship with the Lord? Oh, you guys, my husband used to ask me this question all of the time. Every time we started to fight about something, he would say, how's your time in the Word been? And I would get so angry. I'd be like, it's not about reading my Bible. This is about this specific thing. And you aren't doing this thing. And you aren't doing this. And he'd always be like, mm-hmm. And so, friend, I really hate to pull that on you, but I'm going to pull it on you. How's your time in the Word been? Right? Like, if you are not spending time connecting with what God says about you and connecting with Jesus, like praying and being in the Word, you're not going to feel good about who you are and what you've been created to do. You're just not, right? And so if you're trying to do life as a Christian woman without that, it's not going to work out. You are going to get caught up in comparison and envy and jealousy and all the things all the time. Right? You have to connect to your source of life, right? Like your power source is Jesus, reading his word, praying, right? And if your power source is Instagram or YouTube or Netflix, friend, it's not going to work out the way you want it to work out. You are going to find yourself in envy and comparison all the time. The other thing that this one, I think is really, it's Chat GPT, you're very astute. What story are you telling yourself when you see that person? And I write about this in my book, The Comparison Free Life, right? I actually like spell all this out. It's like, it's almost a whole chapter on like the narratives we create about other people when they just look like we think we want to look. And most of the time, the stories are just not true at all. It's a cliche that I hate, actually, that don't compare your behind the scenes with someone else's highlights reel. I think that's a Stephen Furtick quote. And so I apologize, Stephen Furtick. But I think that's really lousy advice, because the problem is, what if your behind the scenes still looks better than my behind the scenes, right? It doesn't really solve anything. It just tells me to like compare differently. And I think the challenge is, what are we actually believing when we compare ourselves to someone else? What narrative has, I would say in this case, the body image idol told us comes with having a certain body? So you have a certain body and you have a certain life, right? That's what we believe. We have to question the veracity of that, right? Because for us, it's just not true. I used to use this example all the time, so I apologize if you've heard me use it before, but I think the magazines at the Target or grocery store checkout are the perfect illustration of this, right? You see that picture on the cover and the picture of the woman, like it just looks perfect, right? It's been airbrushed, right? Like no one's bikini line is that smooth, okay? But she's wearing a swimsuit, she looks good in the swimsuit, and you're like, man, I just wish I could look like her. And you only see the image, you're kind of objectifying her, right? Because you're just seeing her as a body. And what you're missing is the narrative that is really like literally plastered around her. Because how many times do you see that image and then see the headlines around her, which is like what I did when I was so depressed, or how I almost ended it all, or what I did after he cheated, right? And you realize, oh, she has that body, but her life wasn't perfect. And that's why we have to stop believing the lies of the body image idol, right? Because it's just lies. Your life doesn't get more perfect if you get a certain body size or shape. Now to number 3, shift the focus inward. So instead of comparing bodies, try to reconnect with yours. I mean, that's not bad advice. It talks about, though, loving and appreciating your body, even in small ways, and gratitude for your body over time can help ease comparison. And here's how I would maybe add to that, right? It is pretty difficult to go from body image issues, eating disorder, I just can't stand the way my body looks, to I am so grateful for my body, right? That's a leap. It's a similar leap to go from that to I love my body. I just love looking in the mirror. Like that's too big of a canyon to just jump over, right? But I like the fact that it says small ways, right? Because I do think there's some merit to being like, okay, I can be thankful today that my hands work and I could type an email. I can be thankful today that my legs work and I could get out of bed, right? So those things aren't bad necessarily. But there is something to gratitude. And again, I write about gratitude in the Comparison-Free Life because it is really important to breaking free from comparison, right? If we can just have hearts that are more thankful. And actually in that book, I also talk about grace a lot because I think if we can fully understand the depths of God's grace, and there's like, grace isn't just for heaven. I'm talking about grace now here on earth. If we can fully understand grace and gratitude, we won't compare ourselves to other people anymore. So highly recommend you go grab that book, The Comparison-Free Life, if comparison is a way that you struggle, because I get it. I've been there and called myself a chronic comparer. And grace and gratitude really do have something to do with breaking free for sure. But here's what I would say as you think about gratitude. It's helpful to make your gratitude list. It's helpful to be, okay, I'm thankful for my legs. I'm thankful for my hair. I'm thankful for my nose. Like helpful, right? But here's the thing. Our bodies are a gift from God. And when you get a gift, like let's say you are getting engaged and your fiancé-to-be gives you this beautiful ring. Do you focus on the ring or do you focus on the giver of the gift? Do you spend all your time after you get that ring like, oh, I love my ring so much. My ring is so awesome. My ring is so amazing. I love this ring. I love this ring. I'm so thankful for this ring. This is the best ring ever. Like, I just love this ring. This ring is just going to like make my whole life, right? Or do you turn that into like, wow, I really love you. Like, thank you. I can't wait to marry you. Thank you so much. Like for this beautiful ring that you picked out, or maybe you picked it out yourself. I don't know. But like, thank you. I love the ring, but I really love you. You love the giver more than you love the gift. And so your body is a good gift. But if you try to focus too much on loving the gift and you miss the giver of the gift, you're missing out. You're missing the point. Okay, the next one, limit idealization. Yes, and yes. Because like it said, you really never know what someone's dealing with. Now, this can backfire though, right? Because I don't think it's super helpful to go around and be like, oh, she's really skinny. She looks really good. Oh, I bet she has a drug problem or a food problem. She probably has an eating disorder. Oh, she probably has a horrible marriage because she's probably so vain and conceited and just stuck on herself because of how she looks. Like, that's not a helpful position, okay? And I know it's tempting. So we can take this suggestion of limiting idealization and we can corrupt it with our sinful hearts and minds, okay? So here's how I would maybe put like, I don't know, a Jesus buffer on it. Is that a thing? Again, don't idealize, right? Don't assume that because she has the body, she has that life, right? But stop looking at her like a body, right? Like, look at her as a person that you can love and who may need you, who may need someone who will see them as more than a body, who may need someone who can actually care for them, or love them beyond their exterior, who can love them for what's going on the inside, who can see them for who they really are. And maybe that's your role. So your role isn't just to be like, I'm not going to idealize you because you have problems. I'm sure you have problems. How can I figure out your problems? Figure out how you can love them well. And then honestly, as you start to love someone well, your tendency to objectify them and to idealize them, it does diminish. I write a story about this in the Comparison-Free Life too, about a woman that I was very close to who looked like a model. And oh goodness, sometimes I didn't want to go to the pool party with her. But what I learned was to stop objectifying her and to actually be her friend, to actually love her well. And what a difference that made. Okay, number 5, the setting boundaries thing. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're going crazy around someone, I guess boundaries might be helpful. But again, I'd be like, what? The problem might not be them. I mean, if the problem is them, like they're having lots of conversations about their body and why they're trying to be so skinny and how they're trying to be so skinny, or if it's like all diet culture stuff, or if it's triggering to you in that way, then okay, of course, setting boundaries makes sense to me for sure. But I don't want to be around you because I'm envious of you because you look better than me. Like cutting someone off for that seems a little extreme to me. So perhaps a better way to say this would be, if you need to do some work with the Lord around your envy, do that before you see them, right? Don't show up and be fake. Do that work first. Right? But I don't think you need to cut someone off because they're prettier than you. That seems a little severe. And then the last suggestion, talk to someone safe. You know what? In fact, I did an episode with Erin Eddie Atkins. It was called So Worth Loving. It was not too long ago, within the month. And it was a fantastic conversation. And she shared how she has been telling her friends when she is envious of them. And I loved that because I actually talk about that in the Comparison-Free Life too. How I shared with someone that I was feeling envious of them, and they kind of replied like, what? Like, I'm envious of you. Like, that happens. And when you can do that, I mean, you can't do it in an obnoxious way. Like, I'm so jealous of you, right? Like, you have to do it in like oh man, I just think you're amazing. Like, it's really difficult for me sometimes because I think you're so amazing. And sometimes I feel envious and I don't want to feel that way. I want to support you. I want to be there for you. I want to lift you up. I want to cheer for you. But sometimes I just kind of wish that I had what you have. And that's hard. And by you just acknowledging that can just pop the balloon. Again, take the air right out of the comparison and the envy and connect you to that person in a much deeper way than you were connected before. It can be really sweet. Again, be choosy about how you do it, when you do it, where you do it, right? But I would be surprised if you won't do it. I'm just not phrasing this correctly, but I would be surprised if when you do it, if you do it, you don't end up hearing the same response right back from her. Like, man, like, I'm jealous of this. Like, I'm envious of the way you do this and the way you do this, right? And in that conversation, even though it's cloaked in envy and maybe negative feelings, right? In that conversation, you actually are hearing what you appreciate about each other, right? And that can be really sweet and that can draw you together. But I understand that's not going to be the case for everyone. I understand that might not be the level of relationship you have with this person. And so, of course, if there's someone you can't stop obsessing over, talk to someone, friend. Like, this honestly is something that comes up in coaching all the time, more so in my individual coaching. But I work with women all the time that are, well, we start talking about their body image issues. And we'll do like a session or two just around those. And then it's normally around session like 3 or 4, it'll come out. The person that they have been like given the evil eye, not on purpose, but the person that they just want to be more like, the person who has the body, or the person, sometimes you guys, it's a person from elementary school or high school that they still remember, like the image of them is stuck in their head and they just want to be more like this person. And it's been like 30 years since high school and they're still thinking about Jenny's hair or Jenny's body. We talk about that in coaching. Coaching is a safe place to bring those things. And so if you've got one of those if you've got a Jenny rattling around your head, If you got someone you can instantly, you're listening, you're like, oh, I know who it is. Yep, that's my person. Like, I've been envying them for decades. Hey, like, sign up for a session. Let's talk about it. Because it doesn't need to stay in your head. Like, there's a healthier way to live. And sometimes just bring it to the light. And we've got some exercises we can do around this to kind of help you work through like what it is, where it came from, why it's there, and how to get rid of it. But sometimes just bringing that to the light can be so freeing. So I would encourage you to do that. I think, Chat GPT, you didn't do that bad. I don't know. I give you a score of maybe 6 on a 1 to 10 scale on this one. But I'm glad you're here. And I hope you were too. Hey, come back next time as we tackle another me versus Chat GPT topic. And if you have a great topic for this summer series, drop me a message, Heather at comparedtowho.me. I'd love to hear your topic ideas. We'll see what Chat GPT has to say about it, and we'll see what I have to say about it. Hey, thanks again for listening. I hope something today has helped you stop comparing and start living. Bye-bye. The Compared To podcast is proud to be part of the Life Audio Podcast Network. For more great Christian podcasts, go to lifeaudio.com. Hey, have you left a review of this show yet? I know I've got thousands of listeners and not that many reviews. Could you help me out? Would you consider stopping right now and leaving a review wherever you get your podcast? That would bless us so much.